Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today on Real Estate Phenoms. We have a very special guest here, Miss Karen Sims. So, Karen is a mom, top-notch real estate broker, top-selling realtor in New Jersey and Hudson County, kidney transplant recipient. The list goes on. So, Karen, thank you so much for joining the show today, and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Greg.
Of
Appreciate you.
course, of course.
Always love to give back.
Yeah, yes, you do, and we're going to talk about that. And Karen, you're a very special person. I don't want to make you shy here, but you are a very special person, and I want to share your story. I want to share your inspiration, and all the good vibes that come from Miss Karen Sims. So let's talk about your background and just kind of how you got to where you are today, and then we'll jump in.
Well, I went to school for business management. I was in a corporate for over 12 years doing accounts payable, accounts receivable. Worked my way up to being accounts receivable manager. We got bought out. My company position was moved to Pennsylvania. I was not relocating. So I went to insurance. I was with an insurance company, and it was right at 9/11.
Oh,
And you
wow.
wish people would have saw value in insurance. They didn't see the value in insurance. I tried that 6 months, and I was like, my older sister was a realtor. So I was like, I just can't do this insurance thing. And she came up. She lived down South Jersey. She came up to North Jersey. She brought a brag book with her.
Uh-huh.
And her brag book was all her accomplishments, her listings, but most importantly, what I saw all her paychecks.
Oh, okay.
As I flipping a page and see one paycheck in amount, flipping a page, and I'm like, I was like, she's a house mom. I'm not. I said, she's not a natural hustler. I am. She in the suburbs, so her price point is lower than the city. So all I could see was ching, ching, ching as I turned the pages. And I was in real estate school that April. I graduated June, and I have not looked back. And that was over 21, next year, 22 years ago.
You know what I would love to know, Karen? I'd love to know if she still has that brag book. That would be really cool to see.
Well, unfortunately, she doesn't. She passed away.
Oh, geez, I'm so
But I
sorry.
started my own.
Okay,
I have to find it. If
okay.
I find it, I definitely will show you it.
Yeah, we'll have the editor go in and put a little clip. We'll put the little picture in there once you find it. That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome. All right, so you're 20 or 21 years in the business now, right?
Next year will be 22. Next year will be 22.
Yeah, guys, there's a theme here, right? And I love I love the new agents. I love the up and comers. Right now, we're going into a different season. So you're going to notice over the next few episodes, I'm getting on people that are veterans in the business that have been through, that have seen it all. So if you got in 21, 22 years ago, you got in, yeah, right after 9/11.
Yeah.
And then you made it through the shift. Talk to us a little bit about that, Karen, and let's talk about like what are the differences or what are the similarities between what we're dealing with now with this like inventory, crunch crisis, whatever you want to call it, and what about what you guys dealt with then?
Well, back then, when I first got into the market, it was hard getting a job. I applied for a job, I would apply for a job, but it was hard back in 9/11. Your unemployment gave you so much time, and I was like, I had to recreate myself. And regardless of what the naysayers say about the real estate market, I had to try it for myself. So
Yep.
I did that, and it was fine because people still have needs. They get relocated from a job, they got to move. They increase in family size, they got to move. They decrease in family size, they got to move. Somebody's selling a house, they got to move. So it didn't matter whether it was 9/11 coming to 2008 when we broke down and had the financial crisis. Went into the short sale business for like 4 years from that.
Wow.
So you just adapt, and that's what I did. I changed with the shift, and I became a short sale specialist.
Did you really?
Exactly, because once one person, you do a good job for one person, Your name get out. They send you to their friends. Everybody was stressed. Everybody bought at 100% and know they couldn't afford it. So one person tell another person tell another person. And my 4 years, I had realtors coming to me, attorneys saying, "Hey, help this person out." So I just dove into that market and made it work. And then we moved on, and we had the pandemic.
Yeah.
And that was a sad time for realtors. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
what we gonna do? We can't go out and work. Our work is in the field. If we can't go out in the field, now another set of problems and woes and depression come on. But you had to adapt. And in that point in time, I was facing my crisis with my own health. So mentally, it was not a good state of mind during a pandemic. But I got on with KW, whatever KW gave us to encourage us. James Shaw, that was our first inspiration, getting up and listening to his uh, videos every
The
morning.
pivot shift group, right?
His shift group, getting on
Yeah.
that Zoom call, that helped with my mindset. And then my own doctor said, "Karen, put on your mask, wash your hands, go out."
Yeah.
So once we were able to go out, haven't looked back. I did what I had to do.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We keep on doing what we have to do for our clients and for ourselves. We're supporters for our family, so we have to just do what we have to do. Never mind what's going on in the background. You got to stay focused on what you need to do to get through this time. And that's what I do every day. I stay focused. I'm still on 4 years later. Pivot shift 7:30. My alarm goes off 7:15. 7:30, my iPhone come out and I'm putting it on. I don't go on camera, so James hit me.
Well, we know what happened that one time, right?
All that is mindset and making sure that you're in the right state of mind. That was one thing that Keller Williams offered that I was able to connect with to make sure that I stayed in the right mindset for my business, because without your business you're nothing. So other things at KW, the university, whatever the KW was offering free, I was on it.
You were taking it.
Exactly. Our team leader, our uh, morning meeting would start 8 a.m. I'm not a natural morning
I
person,
remember. I remember.
but those things help get you in a different mindset to get you focused for the day. Spiritual reading of the scriptures so that you have a different mindset so that you can take care of yourself and be able to take care of others.
Whew, there's so many directions we could go right now, but I think the two things I just want to touch upon. I've got a very exciting guest coming in January, and that person may or may not be James Shaw.
Ah,
So I want to give a special shout out, and I also want to give just a PSA. Doesn't matter if you're listening to this, if you're not with KW, doesn't matter the company. Go in and join the Pivot Shift Facebook group. I believe there's over 100,000 people in that group right now.
I
And
think
it was
yesterday we pulled up, it was like 155.
wow.
Yeah.
And it was created as soon as the pandemic hit, and nobody knew what they were going to do. And this incredible leader down in Florida, James Shaw, took it upon himself to go out, create this community, create this whole tribe of people. And I know that that group has helped to change so many people's lives and give them a reason, give them a way to start their day and really set themselves up for success. And I try to join as much as I can as well. And now I need to join more just to constantly be in that recreation mode.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I would just want to touch upon, because recreation has come up so many times recently in the podcast. And that's my theme. I just decided that now, but that's my theme going into 2024 is recreation, right? We're constantly evolving. We're constantly changing. You cannot just stay the same. You
Yeah.
can stay the same if you want to live a mediocre lifestyle and if you want to hope that one day you're going to be okay and you're going to be taken care of. But with the market, with family units, with different structures, like you've got to recreate everything about your life in order to really like get to a point where you're fulfilled. Would you agree with that, Karen?
I agree. When I came to KW just 4 years ago, I decided that I was going to unlearn what I knew to relearn what I need to move forward in this industry.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And I've embraced it. I'll go to the classes. Whatever I can take, I'm taking. We have some great speakers in KW, and I adapt to that, and you learn. And if you learn, you grow. Reading. I'm not a reader, but I'm being forced to read, even if it's 10 minutes a day, to build that muscle in your brain to do better, to be financially independent. If I was never taught that way, 20 years in the industry, and I'm just learning that way in these last 4 years. So you got to change. Like you said, reinvent yourself.
Yeah, and that's what I'm so excited about. I'm working on some things in the background for the upcoming year and beyond. But one of the things that I want to focus on, and I would love to invite you on this journey to come out and speak at some point, but giving back to the younger generation. So until I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, until I got around the right people, and then I really got lit on fire, you're absolutely right. They don't teach you any of this stuff that you need to survive in the real world. And what's happening now is you have so many people that are still reliant on their parents, that are still reliant on, hanging around, hoping to make a couple $100 this week. Guys, it's not going to cut it going into the new world that we're in right now. Like I joked about this before on a podcast, but like bacon costs $10, right? Like
And things is the other eight. You can get a $2 thing of bread.
I went shopping for my wife because I'm getting ready to head down to Brazil and they're already there. And I went shopping for my wife. I'm like, Jesus, like what is going on?
You don't know. You start using them coupons. The wife is industrious.
You are absolutely right. All right, so let's talk to the agents, the real estate entrepreneurs, the phenoms that are listening to this right now, and they're not either in the right mindset or they didn't finish the year the way that they wanted to. What would you tell that person on what they need to focus on into the new year and beyond?
Like anything else, Greg, I believe it's your lead generation. Following up with those who know, love, and trust you. That's the theme of us. We got to continue to lead generate and to stay within our circle of influence because it's those who's going to push us to the next level. It's not painful leads. It's some of it can be door knocking, but it's doing the basics. Do your open houses. When I started, I was tired. I did open houses every weekend, Saturday, Sunday. I did midweek open houses. I did broker open houses. You got to do the work. You can't just come and think it's going to fall in your lap. You got to use the muscle. And the muscle is picking up the phone, making the conversations, keeping them forward. Family, how's your family going? What's going on with your occupation? What's going on with your recreation? What dreams you want? You got to keep doing those things over and over and over again to the circle that you have created within your phone. It's right there. Do the work.
I'm so glad that you mentioned the Ford principle also, because nobody's mentioned that on the podcast. So that's awesome. I really appreciate the reminder. The other thing about you, and I hope that people really listen to this and take the advice, you are one of the most consistent people that I know with the social media posting, with the, just reminding people, Karen's here. Karen didn't go nowhere. She's
My tag is hashtag Sims on the move.
Sims on the move. I love that.
So, I'm going to keep it moving. I have a VA, and it comes from Brivity, one of the platforms with KW. We at Family Reunion, so stop at their booth. But with Brivity, I have a VA that I've trained since I believe I got her 2021.
Yeah, I remember you did that. Yeah.
And she's consistent. She goes on the MLS, see what's on the MLS, what's new, what's closed, what's pending, and constantly put my marketing out. The bold laws. I'm determined to learn all the bold laws.
Okay.
Every Thursday is Bold Thursday, so she makes sure that stay up front. We change the fonts every time we recircle it, but that's going to consistently be there. Motivational Monday. We're going to keep Motivational Monday out there and keep the things to keep it positive, to keep, everybody mindset looking forward to something better in the future, not just now. Don't worry about the past. It's all about the future. What you did, you can't redo. So just do better now. So my VA is one of the best persons that I know and love because she keeps my social media on tap. That's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
Okay. No TikTok yet for Sims on the Move?
Well, Karen does the TikTok. I don't get that. I'm still doing my little dances on a TikTok, I think I'm up to like 1,000 on one of my dances within one of my properties.
All right. Well, I hope we take that to 2,000 after this podcast.
Yeah,
All right. I want to shift topics a little bit. So you know that this is near and dear to my heart. My dad received a kidney transplant probably around 12 or 13 years ago. And you recently went through that process and, got your new lease on life
yeah.
and the stars align. Can you talk to us a little bit about that? Because I'll be honest with you, Karen, I'm still amazed at how you did all this. Like, let's not forget, you're also the broker of record for the KW office in Jersey City, overseeing, 150, 200 realtors, plus your sales business. You still got to keep stuff, hold it down at home. Like, you've got a lot going on. So can you talk to me about, first of all, what were the initial reactions? What were the feelings like when you knew that you're going to have to get on that list and what it's going to take and dialysis and all that good stuff? And please only share what you're comfortable sharing, but I think this can help a lot of people that go back and listen to this, but whatever you're comfortable sharing.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Sure.
When I first got the news in 2019, it could have taken me out of this world. The brain is a powerful muscle, and it felt like it dragged me up and down Grove Street on the ground. I couldn't get up. I did what I needed to do to make sure the business was still moving, but I would come home and get on the floor in my living room on an air mattress. I couldn't do nothing when I got home because I couldn't focus. It was like, why me? I don't drink. I mean, I occasionally drink. I don't drink to the point of getting drunk.
Yep.
I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. Why me, God? And I was kind of resentful for it being me. But then I accepted that it is me. God don't give you anything that you can't handle. So through prayer, through friends, through my family, being positive, them supporting me, I was able to get through. I was just telling someone yesterday, probably over 200 doctors this year. And before that, probably 100. And before that, maybe 50. But the doctor's appointments just seemed to keep growing as I went through this process. But once I accepted it, it was like, what next? What do I do? How do we move forward? I had started getting walking groups. Some of my friends, my family members would walk with me. And this helped reverse my numbers from once you're under 20, you get put on a list.
Oh,
so
wow.
I was 15. So I was able to get my numbers up to 25 with the walking, with the drinking of the water. Gave up. My son came and got two big boxes and wheeled all my alcohol out my house 20 minutes. I had collections from every island, every trip that I went to, and I got rid of it. It was like, what do I do? This was the first thing. Clean your house of whatever you couldn't use that was affecting your kidney. Then we started the walking. And then COVID hit. So where I got up to 25. And I had started the transplant list because I was under 20. I was qualified. But I stopped. Once the numbers went back up, I stopped all that, going to the doctors, whatever I had to do.
Yeah.
I was doing good. I thought maybe we was going to reverse it.
Yeah.
But then COVID hit. And then the mind came into play again.
It's a powerful thing.
And what did the mind do? It sat me on the couch in front of a Zoom while I was doing the work to make sure I stayed my business afloat. Physically, I was still going down. My numbers went back down under that 20 number. So now I had to restart my testing so I could get back on the transplant list and get, I was trying to make sure I get a transplant before dialysis. But unfortunately, my numbers got down to about 11. And last year, January, she's like, I can't, I'm going away. I don't feel comfortable not setting you up before I go away to start dialysis. So my numbers went down to 11%. I got on, started dialysis in February. I had got my graft, which is in my arm.
Yep, my dad had one. Yeah.
I got that in September of pandemic was what, 2021?
2020.
2020. So I got that 2019, that September, because one of my girlfriends said, Karen, don't let it be an emergency, because you don't want to see something coming out your neck from your chest to help, keep you alive. Go do the surgery ahead of time. Even if you don't need it, it's there. It will mature. It'll be ready for you when you're ready. So I did that back in September. And good thing I did it, because come January, the doctor said, you're going on.
Wow.
I can't hold you no more. So I started dialysis that February. And simultaneously, I had the backing not of my family, but my extended KW family. They rallied, they cheered for me. My OP was like, get the Kidney Foundation website for Facebook going. Like, get it going now. I think at that point, Greg, you had started coming in as our
Yep.
team at that. So between you, between Renee, between Patricia, between Janet, between John Carlos, everybody rallied together to make sure that we had that site going to help me try to find a living donor as I was starting my dialysis process. And thankfully, through everybody's efforts, through the walk, we did Red Day, we did a walk in my honor. We did our national call with Mark King.
I remember that, yeah.
And it was the efforts of that call that Chris Zelfis actually stepped up. He'd been wanting to help someone, and he didn't do it before when one of our KW members needed it. So the day that he was on that call, and that exact same day, he went to the hospital and tested. Now
Karen, I didn't know this. I have such extreme chills in my body right now. I did not know this.
Oh, it was that call, that moment when he saw us and our office and the backing that we have, our sales agents pleading on my behalf for a kidney, that he stepped up, went and got tested that day. He didn't procrastinate. And he was an exact match, but he was still willing to donate on my behalf.
Wow.
So he's my lifeline. Chris is my lifeline.
What's his name, Karen?
Chris, DEFS, Stafford.
Okay.
So at that point in time, I did find out on the dialysis chair that someone was donating on my behalf. So that was an exciting day. I can't remember if that was around September-ish. I believe it was around September-ish that I found out.
Okay.
And then I had to start another set of testing. And that testing would go all the way until December. Actually, it went all the way to January. So many different tests every week, 21 vials of blood, this, that, the other.
Oh, man.
But my sister was there. My niece Shakira was there, who's also my personal assistant, which allows me to do a lot of things for everybody else because I have help.
Shakira's awesome. We love Shakira.
And not only that, once the testing was done, Chris was in place. Now we had to find an exchange. So Chris' kidney that he donated on my behalf actually went to someone in New York. And the New York one had someone in California that was willing to donate on his behalf. So I actually got the transplant from a 31-year-old from Cali, young female, that donated to me, that's in my body.
Wow.
And that all happened on January 26th. So Chris is my lifeline. I love him to death. I'm connected with him on Facebook, connected with some of his family members on Facebook. And we're one big extended family, and that's all due to my KW family. So I love, appreciate. I'm a diehard KW. I drink the Kool-Aid. Yes, it's red, it tastes good, and you can't get me to stop drinking.
That is so amazing. What an incredible story.
Yes.
What an incredible story. And it came from California. So that probably even helps out your positive energy vibes even more so. I know when I'm in California, I feel good.
In California.
So, wow. Thank you for sharing that, Karen. I didn't know that the ins and outs of that whole story. That is truly amazing. And my sister-in-law, she's actually with NJ Saves, I believe it is, or that does organ donation. So, guys, if you're out there, please consider being a donor. Check the little box on your license and do whatever you can to help others. So that's incredible. Karen, let's talk about the positivity, right?
Yes.
So throughout that whole time, right? Because I had the pleasure of being able to work with you on a daily or at least a weekly basis. You would have never known, right? You weren't coming in and like dragging yourself around and like, woe is me. And like, it wasn't you. So what did it take, like a state change? Did it take a recreation, or just, is that how you've always lived your life? The power of positivity?
Always live my life in positivity. But knowing that I had to be there for others, it wasn't about me. I did for others to keep it off of me. This way I didn't have to sit in my own thoughts. I'd rather be busy doing something for someone else than to have to worry about what I needed or what I was going through or my woes. It wasn't about no woe is me. I don't even like the pity. It's like, no, I don't want the pity. I want to be normal. I wanted to feel as normal as possible. I published my second book.
Let's give the book a shout out.
Yes, where are my books?
Go ahead, take your time.
Uh, One is Inside Home Selling Tips, Inside Home Selling Tips.
Where can they buy that, Karen?
Well, actually, it's free.
Okay.
If they send me an email, I can give them the link.
All right. What's your email?
knsims@gmail.com.
Okay.
And then I have another one for buyers that I just can't locate right now.
That's okay. Just send Karen an email. I learned so much. This is why I do these podcasts. This is awesome.
This one I did finished up while on dialysis. So I used my time for dialysis. I was on Zoom meetings.
I remember that. I remember.
You know, I did not let it be a downer. I was not going to be a Debbie Downer at all. I made sure I did whatever I could to keep my spirits up, to keep my office spirits up. There was days after dialysis that we needed, you needed the broker in the office for certain meetings. I pushed myself through it. Or I would go to come in the office and then go to dialysis.
Yeah.
But I made it work so that we can keep everybody moving. I kept the smile going. I still keep the smile going. I love to smile. Smiling, it changes your energy. So if you feel sad, smile.
Just smile.
I gave myself permission to cry once a month. But in 12 months, I probably cried 3 times.
Wow.
Because when you feel like you want to cry, smile. You can't cry and smile at the same time.
You're right.
Humanly impossible.
You're right. Somebody, I was talking to somebody.
And laugh at the same time.
I was talking to somebody about fitness and about like what it does to change the dopamine levels and just change the chemistry. And they said, look, tell me somebody that you've ever seen walking out of the gym miserable.
So positive is all what I need. I'm stay spiritual. So I go to my religious meetings as a Jehovah's Witness regularly, Wednesday and Sundays. Those go on the calendar. Everything else is beyond that. I stay speaking to others and writing letters to others so that I can encourage them spiritually and lift them up with a good message. Every morning I read what is called a daily text. And then I have my James Shaw. So I put my spiritual, then I put my work positivity on. And then when I walk out the door, I may come to the office and my car be blasted with music, so I could have a different frame.
Change the state. Tony Robbins, change the state.
So I do all that, and throughout the day, just smiling and making someone else day happy, being able to be there for my agents, answer their questions, and then for my clients, and making sure my clients are set. I love and still enjoy real estate, so it's all good for me.
Wow, this has been so great. We could just end it now, but I have a couple more things I want to ask you. So talk to me about leadership. There's a lot of agents in that office. I think a lot of people from the outside looking in, they don't realize like how many agents that actually like our offices have. 150, 200 agents. That's a lot of people to be responsible for. That's also a lot of people to ensure that they stay out of trouble. They do the right thing by their clients. And same thing with yourself, right? So how do you embody leadership, and what was it like stepping into that role for you, Karen?
Well, in my previous brokerage, I was a broker of record of one office. I was a satellite office. It was important to always have my door open because there's always somebody have questions. When I was in the office and was not in a broker position, I didn't want to be in a private office. I wanted to be in an open office because if I hear something, I'm going to correct you. Even if I was not the broker at that point in time, I've always been there to help the agent to put them on the right track, because if you teach one wrong, then the other one's going to do wrong, and then everybody's going to do wrong. So no, if I'm going to hear it, I'm going to tell you what is really right. As brokers, we have to know. We can't say, I don't know. So being able to be in a position to help somebody know, because I have to know, I'm going to help that person because it's only going to help the industry do better.
Amen.
So, just being there for the agents and staying there so that the agents have me is important to me. Like, my doors constantly are open doors. Like, come in. You have a question, come in.
Come in, sit down, get comfortable.
I sit in the pit so that people know that I'm approachable as a leader. And then helping others aspire to do more. I encourage others on a one-on-one conversations all the way to step up. If you want to do something different, step up. We can use help. You got to be wanting, but as a leader, that's my position and role, to encourage them to do better.
I love it. That's such a great answer. So, who was your inspiration, Karen? I mean, everybody, I think, in life has some kind of inspiration or somebody that helped to push them down that path. But is there anybody that stands out to you?
I would say some of the people that in the industry world that early on in my career that I looked up to, that always was listening. So I look at Marty Alabal. I would always look at Ziva Heem. Then it was Ellison. Then it was Jill Briggs. So I'm looking at those who's putting in the work. What do I need to do to make sure I stay in the know? What do I need to do to make sure my name is in the present? So those are some of my real estate, look at and do. And then I would go to seminars like Tony Robbins. And there's a few early on in my career that I went to just to make sure that I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I'm staying focused in the industry and what I need to do. And then Jehovah God, I'm going to look to him and his son, Jesus Christ, as far as what I need to do as a person, a spiritual person, that's doing the right thing always. Part of our culture with Keller Williams is, being honest, being trustworthy. I want to make sure that I stay within culture, not only religiously, but here in this industry. It's very important. So I look at those as leaders. And then my family, making sure those are my whys. Why do I get up? Why do I do what I do? It's to make sure that I can provide and we have a foundation and be able to do things that we can do as a family. And then, I look at my coworkers, because they get here, they come, they do, and they have their own issues too. So I want to be a positive influence for them and looking to them as, I'm appreciative to you for being here. And as part of me, who I look to for that energy and motivation.
I don't know, Karen. I don't know what's next for you. You seem to be really coming into a new a reawakening, a Karen 2 or 3.0. You better watch out.
I did my first class for apply for KWU, so there's a lot of work behind being an instructor for KW. So I'm working on it. It'll be a work in progress. It won't be tomorrow, but I have goals. So
I love it. Yeah. And I want to just hammer this point home to all the people that are listening, especially those that are newer in the business. Guys, once you start to have some kind of success, you have to budget for personal development. You have to show up to the conferences. Like, that's the crazy thing about our industry. You don't have to do anything, right? But if you want to be wildly successful, you have to put yourself in the know. You have to build relationships. And I think the most important thing is you have to step outside of your comfort zone. And like, if you want to step outside of your comfort zone, go walk on fire at a Tony Robbins conference. Or, you know what? Go to something in another state. Go meet some people and really start to become the industry expert that you're striving to be, because it's not just going to happen on your home turf. Would you agree with that, Karen?
Absolutely. I was just in AC for the triple play for 4 days, taking trainings, networking with people, in the evenings. But you got to keep building that muscle, that mental muscle, that knowledge muscle. And then, just being out there in the industry so that you could be the point of contact for all.
Awesome. All right, let's get ready to put a bow on this. I have two final questions. So the one question is, let's talk to the person that's listening to this right now, and everything seems great on the outside, right? But on the inside, they're struggling with something, or somebody's sick, or they have an addiction, or they're tapped out of money. There's something going on, right? And they're like, you know what? I could just quit. I could throw it in. And they're not asking for help. What would you suggest, or any tips, pointers that you would give anybody that's in that current situation?
Surround yourself with those like that are positive. Get into the office, because when you're in the office, you have a different vibe. You'll have people and agents that will come to you and actually say, can you do this? Can you do that? So that now you're starting to build your business a different way. But you got to stay connected to the industry. You got to keep on sharpening your skills. One thing a lot of agents are doing, they're coming to the table without their tools. Listen, this is a business. I know it's hard, but you have to come with your MLSs. You have to join the different supers, because you can't be in Hudson trying to do Garden State without having a Garden State access, or in Garden State and don't have Hudson access. McDonald's do not open up their McDonald's without the forks, knives, spoons, and most important ketchup. You need your supers. You need your twos. You need your MLSs so that you can feel confident. You need to get to trainings. Even if it's not KW trainings, go to any trainings that you can get that is going to sharpen your skill. Surround yourself again within your company. I know we have a lot of virtual companies, but you're not going to get the human touch and feel and warmth and knowledge by sitting next to somebody in the pit and having a conversation, or overhearing someone else's conversation and learning. So get to your offices, get back. COVID is over.
Amen to that.
Here, but get back to the naturals, which is getting in the office and doing your job, making your calls, meeting people, meeting other. We got 150 agents. Come on now, let's work and see each other and bounce off knowledge and skills so that we all grow and learn.
I love it. All right, last question. That was phenomenal. What's most important in your life right now, Karen?
Protecting my kidney.
Okay.
Make sure I drink my water, stay hydrated.
I might have to have you call my dad. I think he needs to do more to protect his. That's incredible.
Making sure that I'm near as much as possible for others so that they can grow in their business and their trade, but continually to make sure that I sharpen my own skills, put in my own plate first so that I can give to others. And that means taking care of my health, taking care of my spirituality, and taking care of my business. Because without my business, I'm not doing anything.
Karen, this has been so incredible, and I'm so glad that you accepted the invitation to come on. I think this is going to be a gift to so many people, especially those that know you and don't know all of this stuff. I think it's going to be amazing. So, Karen, how can people reach out to you? What areas do you cover? All the good referrals and all that good stuff.
I cover basically Hudson. That's my background. Jersey City, Bayonne, Secaucus, North Bergen, Union City. But I have 6 MLSs as a broker record, so I do go out to other areas. I do Union, Essex County, Bergen County, but my backyard is Hudson County. I like to stay here, but I will go out.
All right, and what's that email and the social handle again?
That's knsims@gmail.com. And my professional IG is Sims on the Move for IG. And for Facebook, it's just my name, Karen N. Sims.
Let's go. Let's go. Thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it. I'm so grateful. And till next time, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it.
All right.